Good day. I'm back with another mega physical media preview video for you all. We're talking the most hotly anticipated titles coming out in the entire month of April. I'm going to go ahead and go over the pre-order information here so you guys can know what titles to expect, give you my recommendations because I've seen a lot of these movies, and we're just going to have a great time talking about these movies today. So if it sounds like you're in the right spot, my mega collecting friend, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe to stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics, whether it's DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, just talking the movies you love to collect. You are in the right spot. And of course, leave in the comments below, what titles do you plan on picking up in April? Now getting into the Blu-ray Tuesdays, and first one up is going to be April 1st. So let's talk about these banger bangers. So first up, we're going to have Companion that I highly recommend. I absolutely love seeing this movie in theaters. I thought there was great performances here with like Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid, and it was really an interesting mixture of genres. You had some sci-fi in here, some horror, some thriller, some dark comedy. It was a really interesting premise of a movie. So I would say go into this movie completely blind. Don't even watch a trailer because that gives too much away, but you will be delighted just like I was. And once again, this is my personal favorite film of the year. I just had such a good time with this one, and I like to see creative ideas for movies, and I just thought this one was executed so well. So that's a must buy for me at some point. Next up, we're going to have A Complete Unknown, which was a decent little musical biopic on Bob Dylan. You had Timothy Chalamet playing Bob Dylan, and I thought he did a pretty solid performance there. And you had other good supporting actors too, like Ed Norton was fantastic. And it was good music. If you're into folk style songs, you're going to enjoy the music, lots of music throughout the movie. And so overall for a biopic, I thought it was pretty decent. It was filmed well enough. Is it something I need to rewatch all the time? Maybe not. But at least a one-time watch I would recommend. And then if you're really into biopics, I think you're safe to pick that one up. Next up, we're going to have Renfield Collector's Edition, finally coming out to 4K. It was on Blu-ray before, but we know Universal was playing us, and a 4K was going to be on the horizon. And of course, now we got Shout Factory doing this Collector's Edition. There's also a Steelbook option. And I thought Renfield was a fun time in theaters. It's kind of silly and ridiculous. It's like horror action mixed together, but you know it's going to be goofy because you got Nick Cage in there as Dracula, Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, and you even got Aquafina in there. You know it's not going to take itself too seriously. It's no Nosferatu, but if you know you're just going to go in for a dumb fun time, you might get a kick out of Renfield. Next up, we're going to have Mufasa, The Lion King, which I enjoyed this movie overall in theaters. It was just kind of a decent one-time family watch for me. Uh, but I can't highly recommend to watch this one over and over again. I don't really care for the story in here. To me, actually, the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense in connection with the Lion King movie. There's definitely some plot holes there and some weird moments. But of course, the visual effects, animation looks fantastic there. And then, of course, the music is actually pretty solid as well. So a couple good elements in there. Next up, we're going to have Love Hurts, and this stars Ke Huy Quan, right? From Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's basically now a lead role in this action kind of romance movie. I don't know, it's a weird mixture of a movie. I saw this one in theaters and I really didn't like it. Unfortunately, I can't give the strong recommendation here for it just because I didn't like it. I just thought it wasn't a well put together movie. It wasn't really that interesting. It was pretty generic, almost felt like a Netflix original movie. So yeah, unfortunately, that one kind of just hurt the wallet. All right, next up, we're going to have next Blu-ray Tuesday. We're going to have April 8th. We got Long Kiss Goodnight from Arrow. And I have not seen this movie, believe it or not, but I keep getting it recommended to me. People say a lot of great things about this one. I assume it's kind of like an action crime movie, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments. But I know Arrow does a phenomenal job with their treatments. They always pack in good special features. The disc always looks great. So I'm very excited to check this one out. I will definitely get it eventually in an Arrow sale. All right, next up, we're going to have Some Like It Hot from the Criterion Collection. So finally, I guess, getting to a 4K from Criterion, but this one was already on Criterion with a Blu-ray, and it already had a 4K from Kino Lorber, I believe. So I don't need to double dip here and get the Criterion edition. I don't know if Criterion's doing something different, like adding in different special features. But if you don't have this movie at all yet, I will say, yes, this is definitely a good one to buy if you're into comedies. Yes, it's a classic comedy, black and white, but it still keeps up to today. I still found myself laughing at a few scenes and just enjoying it. You got Tony Curtis in there, you got Marilyn Monroe, so it's a good time if you like comedy. So yeah, it still, like I said, keeps up to today, surprisingly enough. Next up, we're gonna have Sorority House Massacre Collector's Edition. I believe this one is coming out from Shout Factory now, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like I have this movie. I think I've seen it. Wasn't it a Blu-ray on MVD Rewind Collection? Like I feel like that's the one I have, unless I'm thinking of another movie that has like sorority in the name. But I think that was the one, right? It's a slasher from the 80s. If I'm thinking of the right movie. Well, if it's that movie, yeah, it's a decent enough slasher, nothing like super special in my opinion. But if you're a big horror slasher fan, it's a safe one to add into the collection. I just don't think it's gonna, blow you away or anything. But yeah, Sorority House Massacre. I guess 4K time for this one. We'll see how the 4K ends up looking and sounding with that. Next up, we're going to have April 15th. And the big release, I mean, really only one release that needs to be talked about here in this Blu ray Tuesday, is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Let's go. I'm so excited to pick up this movie day one. And you guys know I don't do a lot of day one pickups anymore. I wait for the sales, I wait for the discounts, but I could not resist this one because this was my favorite movie of last year. I just thought it was firing on all cylinders. It was an amazing sequel. To me, it was the best of the Sonic movies. I just love the performances in here. Like having the two Jim Carrey roles was excellent, and then Sonic is just phenomenal in this one again. But you got his a villain, Shadow. Yes, Shadow. How can I forget my good friend Shadow? He was amazing in this movie, voiced by Keanu Reeves. And that just really made the movie right there. And really just loyal to the story of the games. I remember the Sega games being very close to this. So really, really like what they did with the story here. Phenomenal visual effects and just a really fun time for the whole family. So I pre-ordered the steelbook myself. I went with the regular Sonic edition because that one was cheaper than the Shadow edition by like $10. I'm like, okay, I want the 4K disc, so I'll pay the, around the $35 range for the steelbook here. But yeah, they have a slipcover option as well. But once again, this is my personal favorite movie. So if you're into family movies, you're a Sonic fan, you gotta have this one. It's just so good. Next up, we're gonna have April 22nd. We're gonna have Sneakers from Kino Lorber coming out to 4K. Now, I have a Blu-ray of this one. I remember watching it once. I remember it having a good cast in there, right? Did it have? I think it was River Phoenix was in there, or one of the Phoenixes, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the cast I remember was pretty good. It was, I guess, a heist movie in a way, if I'm remembering correctly. Like they have to have a team assemble together, and then they're doing like some kind of mission. So overall, I thought it was decent enough. I know some people really, really like this one. I should give my Blu-ray a rewatch and see if I need to upgrade to 4K. But if you don't have this one at all, I do think it's a safe 4K buy from Kino Lorber, a more modern movie, easy watching for sure. Speaking of more modern movies, easy watching, you got to get Career Opportunities on 4K from Kino Lorber if you don't have this one yet. Now, I own Career Opportunities like twice over. I have two different Blu-rays, one from the Jennifer Connelly imprint collection, and then the Blu-ray Kino Lorber did about 5 or so years ago. So do I need the 4K? Probably not. Do I really want the 4K? Yes, I do. Jennifer Connelly in ultra high definition. Woo! Riding the little horsey. I do want to see that. I got to be straight up with you guys. I want to see that. So I will probably get this one when it gets discounted in a future Kino Lorber sale. But if you've never seen this movie, I highly recommend. To me, it's one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, if not my number one. It's a John Hughes movie. It's just so if you're into those John Hughes style movies, you're gonna love this one. I just it's so hilarious. It makes me laugh start to finish every single darn time. I mean, got Frank Whaley in there with Jennifer Connelly, and they're just a hilarious dynamic duo. So highly, highly recommend. And you get some cool special features there with the 4K as well that I believe were only on the imprint edition before. All right, next up, we're going to have Foul Play from Kino Lorber as well. I mean, that's like this Blu-ray Tuesday is like dedicated to Kino Lorber right here. But Foul Play, I've never seen this one. I believe it's Chevy Chase. And who's the actress? Is it Goldie Hawn in this one? I may be getting the actress wrong. I have not seen this movie though, but I heard it's pretty funny and entertaining. So yeah, maybe I'll check that one out too. So yeah, I mean, Kino did amazing that Blu-ray Tuesday, and then we got The Hunt, 2020. This I believe is coming out from Scream Factory. I totally missed seeing this one. I heard it had like some either like social commentary to it that was really interesting. But then I heard some other mixed reviews where some people didn't really like it at all. So I don't know if I need to buy it. Maybe I'll preview it beforehand and then consider it. But there you go. Now I get The Hunt in 4K if you want it. All right, final Blu-ray Tuesday, and this is a banger of a Blu-ray Tuesday. We got April 29th, and of course you got Anora from the Criterion Collection coming out, and this is another must-buy for me. I wanted Anora to win Best Picture out of the nominees, and it did, and it won so much more. Mikey Madison's performance, oh my gosh. Woo! I'm a fan. I'm a fan now of Mikey Madison. I can say that. But Nora was a phenomenal movie. It just had so much to it with the drama, with the romance, with the emotions, with even some dark comedy in some moments. I just thought it was a creative story and a different way to tackle the subject. So I thought it was really interesting and put together really well by Sean Baker. So did a phenomenal job there with, I guess, producing, directing, writing, all editing. I mean, all this stuff that this guy did is nothing short of amazing for this movie. So very excited to add that from the Criterion Collection. Hopefully we get some banging special features in there, but that is a must buy. Hopefully it's there by the Criterion sale. And yeah, I mean, it should be there. It should still be there. I mean, Criterion stuff doesn't really go out of stock very often or out of print. So once we get to a flash sale, that's a buy. Or July Criterion sale at the very least. All right, next up, we're going to have Dirty Harry limited edition steelbook. And I have not seen this movie. I've heard the name before. It's a very iconic title, Clint Eastwood. So I need to see this one. This one is more like a crime drama movie, right? I heard really good things. I got to check this one out eventually. I wonder if the steelbooks are still available. I know they were on Groove at one time, right? You could have maybe done like a coupon with them to get them a little cheaper. I have to see if they're still available at all. But the next Clint Eastwood steelbook, we got The Outlaw, Josie Wells. So Western. Now I'm not as big of a Western fan, so I don't know if I need that one right away. But I know Clint Eastwood has done a lot of westerns, and actually some of his westerns I have enjoyed. So maybe I will consider that one too. But maybe Dirty Harry. That's where I start. Pell Rider, Steelbook as well. I think this is another western, right? So once again, not a massive western fan, but hey, it's one to consider. But I mean, you guys let me know. What do you recommend? What do you think I will like the best between Dirty Harry, The Outlaw, Josie Wales, and Pell Rider? What should be my top priority to try out? And then, of course, we have Timecop from 1994. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yes, I need this movie. It's a must buy. I almost picked up a Blu-ray, but I'm like, you know what? I think it's going to get a 4K eventually. I've just been on a Van Damme kick lately, no pun intended. I've just really enjoyed his movies. Easy watching, like 90s movies. He's an action star. He is great and he is underrated because I know he gets kind of overshadowed by some other action stars like Arnold and Stallone. But I still think Jean-Claude Van Damme does a great job. And I always have a fun time with his movies. So I need to pick up Time Cop. I'm guessing there's sci-fi action in that one. I love some time movies. So yeah, got to check that out. But there we go. Those were the most bangerinest titles coming out in the month of April. I'm going to have all those pre-order links in the description below. So if you do want to pre-order any of these titles, just go through a link. It does help support the channel, and it's free 99 to do it. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You're already buying the movie. Why not support the channel and go through a link? Or if you decide to buy anything else on Amazon, As long as you initially go through a link, hey, I still get some credit. So I appreciate you for doing that, my mega collecting friend. Of course, if you haven't already, once again, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell because it does help this information get out to more physical media collectors so they know what is coming out in the month and they can plan and budget for. And then, of course, if you haven't already, leave in the comments below what titles are you picking up. If I missed anything that you want to recommend out to the community, please do so in the comments. And once again, just have a great time in the comments talking to each other about these movies. That's how we create an awesome film fan conversation. So yeah, have a great day watching and talking them movies out there. And of course, you love this physical media topic. Go ahead and mega smash some more videos right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.